Hey guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks with Captain Jack Barbosa. I have my first replay from someone that isn't me. This is from my friend GN1996, and it's a pretty good KV2 game. But I figured that I'd help him out a little bit, and well, you get to see a really good KV2 replay, but also I'm gonna go over like what could have been done a little bit better, and what could have been done, or how I feel. That was, I'm just blathering right now. Give out a little hints and some stuff like that, because watching him, um, I've noticed a couple things that he does that can be helped, and a couple little tips that I've found. Now, this is a match on a tier 6 match on Westfield, and he's pretty far up there. As you can see, most people are on both teams are average to not very good, and the good player on their team is in a tier 4, so yeah. Um, his team kind of hanging back a little bit, but yeah. And he spotted his first target, the Panzer IV-H. Now, he does get spotted by that Panzer IV-H, and he's looking around. I think he might have thought someone else spotted him, but I don't know. Then pulls forward and gets the shot. Okay, right there. I know he just wanted to snap one away and get back so he didn't take a hit, but he didn't really need to come out that far forward anyway, because as you can see, where's the Panzer IV? Way over there. He can probably see like this much of GN, and he could potentially be back around right here-ish, so he could just get the gun poked over a little bit, and then he could aim longer and hit the turret and guaranteed a one-shot, or been firing armor piercing, but as you can see, he has no armor piercing loaded. I don't either on my KV2, but I probably will load a couple. And when the Panzer IV-H was passing back here, um, I feel he could have taken a shot because it did take the Panzer IV a little bit of time to get to where he is now. Um, like, you miss all of the shots you don't take, but that doesn't mean you always have to shoot. It takes time to figure that stuff out, but let's carry on. And right there, it sees that he took no damage and the Panzer IV was firing HE, so he had all the time in the world to aim his shot, but he didn't know the Panzer IV was firing HE. And he's going for a reload, which in the KV2 is about 20 seconds for those who don't know. And his team is kind of melting. I mean, down here it's a couple versus, you know, he's just getting a little bit wrecked. Or they're down there, they're getting wrecked. And the score is now 1-5. Right there he could have shot because he was pretty much fully aimed. But the Panzer IV is coming out over here. If he stopped back there and went back back across this way, then he wouldn't have had a shot, but the Panzer IV isn't a particularly great player, so he picks up the kill, ammo racks him from 7 health, you know, because reasons, and then goes for another reload. And while he's reloading here, he could have potentially started moving around over here, because he's going to be reloaded way before he gets there. And it's a Panzer IV-H and a KV2. The KV2 gets a decent hit in the Churchill 3. And I kind of like what he does here. He holds his fire, but he could have stopped and aimed. It's beside the point. He picks up this kill, ammo racks him from 55 health because reasons. Dual ammo rack, and he could have potentially stopped and aimed that one. Didn't take any damage, so you know, whatever. Doesn't really matter. And then he sees the base is in trouble because the southern flank has completely fallen, and all that's there is a Grilla and the Su-122A, versus 3 enemy tanks, 2 of which are tier 5, and the Guerrilla goes down, and I believe the SU-122A is next. And everybody, of course, is rushing back. The SU-122A does pick up the Covenanter, which could prove vital to this game. And yeah, that Luke's is really good. Well, we'll be seeing more of him later. Sorry about the replay bug about it doing or saying 2 things at once. That's just part of the replay system. It's kind of buggy. And oh, it wasn't fixed camera. The Panzer IV-H picks up the T-34, meaning that there is 1 person in the cap circle, but we don't know if it's the T-67 or someone else. And there's the T-67, so it's definitely someone else. It might be the M5 Stuart, or potentially the Cromwell, being as they haven't been seen for a long time, and I feel like he could have aimed more shots against that T-67, but he did do good and went for the cap circle. I don't know if he had a shot there. I think he was expecting the KV-2 the other KV-2 to pick him up, and it's the SRL-42, so this is easy. It's like kicking puppies and ripperonis. And the T-67 picks up the KV-2 and does get 1 shot into his KV-2, and right here, let me pause this and go to free camera. So he backs up a little bit too far, and the T-67 was right here, so he could have just pumped shots down into him. And the T-67 is the bigger threat at this point, yet he's still aiming at the M5 Stuart, which can't pen his front or side, and I don't know about the rear. The Luke's is not helpful, and they still have 2 artillery and a Cromwell, and a Matilda Black Prince, and we don't know where the Cromwell or the Black Prince are, and the T-67 has 5 kills, so I feel like oh my god, camera, what are you doing? Anyway, I feel like the best option would have been to turn and face the T-67 and shot him as he came around the building, but let's carry on and see what happens. And he messes up the shot on the M5 Stuart, and the T-67 is getting hit by the Luke's, but the Luke's is not going to be able to do anything. And he's still trying to aim at the T6 or the M5 Stuart. Now is when he starts aiming at the T-67. He should have been a long time ago, in my idea. And he auto aims. That may or may not have been the best idea, but he picks up the T-67. So it's alright. And artillery is raining on him, but they keep missing. So, you know. And the M5 Stuart pops out again. And he's not quite reloaded. And he picks up the Stuart. That's when he gets hit again and gets a little stuck on the building, but it's 140 damage and it's APCR, so it could be the Black Prince or it could be the Cromwell. Now, he looks at his Luke's and it's not doing much. And, right there. The tree went down right there, but he didn't see it. I'm not sure how he didn't see it, but he expects the Cromwell will be coming from this way or this way, so he's aimed at this side of the building, but if he would have seen that tree coming, he would have aimed over here, I believe. Let's see what happens. And there goes another tree over there, so he definitely did not see those. So kind of a poor use of, he assumes it's the Cromwell, and it is the Cromwell. The Cromwell gets stuck a little bit and fucks up, but what the Cromwell should have done is retreated and broken line of sight. Artillery's aiming at him again and misses, and he pushes him forward and goes out in front of a KV-2. And that was inevitable. And then artillery's aiming at the Luke's, and he sits right here, which is a bad idea because artillery was already shelling him, and he just continues to sit there. And he takes a hit from artillery inevitably. Luckily, it was only the M41 HMC and not the M44. Otherwise, he probably would have taken a lot more damage. But tracks back up. Artillery is not firing. The Luke's is being a Luke's, And he's now at a bit of a dilemma. He's asking the Lukes if the Lukes could go cap, but what he doesn't know is that Lukes is either the worst player that I've ever seen or a really intelligent bot. We're leaning towards an intelligent bot because, you know, 82W and 8 super potato or super tomato. And so he's deciding that he's going to go hunt down the last enemy tanks. Even though none of them have been spotted, his last reported locations with the Lukes was at his base, so who knows what the enemy's going to do, if they're just going to sit there and wait for them to come attack, or if they're going to attack while both of them are attacking. And the KV-2 has pretty bad view range, so I don't know the Matilda Black Princes, but I'm pretty sure artillery can outspot them, and you know what artillery cloaking devices are like. The Matilda Black Prince, or the M4's asking them if the Matilda Black Prince can... Yeah, like you see... Oh. He was actually spotted way before that. That was a replay bug. Now, did you see where that shell came from? He expects that the artillery is over here somewhere, or over here. Now, the artillery splash indicator shows... Here, let me back this up a little bit. Okay. So, he's coming up to hit the M41. And right here he spots him. Yeah, see, like I said, he spotted him way before that. Now, he aims in, which is alright, because the M41 had just turned. Hits the M41, and then the M44 hits behind him. Now, you see that that marker was right there. It doesn't... Even if you get splashed, it shows you where the artillery... It doesn't show you where you got damaged from, it shows you where you got shot from. Meaning that that artillery is up there. And so that's a little hint you can find, or you can use whenever you're getting shot by artillery to pinpoint their location, is that wherever that damaged thing flashes from is where the direction they are in, not where you got hit from. But let's carry on. And so, he of course got tracked, and now he's a one shot for that M44, and I think very rarely, unless the Matilda Black Prince rolls really high, I believe he cannot one-shot the KV-2. And the Lukes is being just about as helpful as an ashtray on a motorbike, but he will be helpful later. He's definitely one of the heroes of the game. Now, he's going up the hill thinking that the M44 is up there, I believe. It's either that or he's just trying to get over to here to get a vantage point down on the cap and see if the artillery is in this position or in this position. Yeah, he's thinking the artillery is in E0, but he isn't, due to that flash that I showed you about. He's over in J9. He has 7 kills, and of course he's putting the team on his back. But he's now thinking that the M44 is over here when he suddenly starts getting capped. So that's either the M44 or the Matilda Black Prince. Now, we haven't spotted the Matilda Black Prince yet, and we got shot from over here by the M44. So it could be either of them if the M44 just made a super beeline to cap. And they're yelling at the Lukes to go back, so the Lukes is just driving around being a bit of an idiot, and this I would not recommend. He takes a blind shot over at the cap, and then the M44 gets spotted, so now he has to waste time reloading to hit the M44 when he could have potentially shot the M44 instead of popping off one towards the cap. I've been known to do this. I'm not an expert at the KV-2. GN is probably way better than I am. But the Lukes is going back to cap. to reset it, which is good because the KV-2 is too slow to make it back there on time. And as the Lux goes on, it is in fact the Matilda Black Prince, because we did spot the M44. And here we go, GN is reloaded, and there's the Matilda Black Prince. And he's aiming, and he only has 13 seconds left, so he has to make this count. When the Lux resets, so he has all the time in the world now. Gets a decent hit on the Matilda Black Prince. Could have been better, but 25% RNG, what do you do? And he moves a little closer and gets kind of kittywampus on this hill, but he does have enough gun elevation to shoot at the Matilda Black Prince again. And reloads, and fires, and wham, game over. Now, that was a very good game by GN, so let's go and take a look at the post-game stats, why don't we? And here are the post-battle results screen. He got 12,402 at WN8 for a Super Unicum. Out of the 14 shots he fired, he hit 11 of them. 3,000 damage, 188 assisted, and yeah, as you can see, he carried his team quite hard. The T-49 player did really good. What I expect happened, because at the end he was firing high explosive at GN, is that he ran out of armor-piercing ammunition and had to resort to his high explosive, which unfortunately did not work. 1,583 base experience, 9 vehicles destroyed, picking him up the Radley Walters, the high caliber, and obviously the Top Gun. And if he would have got one more kill, that would have been a Pools medal, but was not to happen. Yep. Received 35,000 credits for a non-premium account, and didn't spend anything on resupplying, spent very little on resupplying, 20,000 credit game. That's pretty good. Like I said, this was my first replay that wasn't mine, and it was very well done. Shout out to Quickie Baby's replay system for allowing me to do this. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, so don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.